So in this video we're just going to be going over something that I heard a lot on the internet, and that is people saying Galen Marek or Starkiller are overpowered. You see people say like, oh, they can't bring back Starkiller because he's too overpowered, like, and all this stuff, and just like calling him overpowered. And in this video I'm just going to be going over why that's not true in the slightest. Starkiller is not overpowered at all. But I can see why you might think he is, and yeah, I do get it. But he only appears that powerful because he's in what's called an exaggerated medium. So for example, every single different book or game or comic in Star Wars is from a different author. You know, multiple authors chip in, like there's a variety of authors who write stories in the continuity. And each author, or each series of books, has its own medium. That of course goes for like games and comics. And every medium depicts the Force in a different way. Because ultimately, every author's vision of the Force sort of varies in a different way. Although they all have to keep it sort of consistent with Lucas, it's still going to vary slightly, and they don't have to keep it within that same grounded medium that is the films. So they can express the Force however they want, essentially. Some authors see it like Lord of the Rings magic, some people see it like, you know, the actual binding energy, spiritual energy that it actually is. Some people see it like a superpower, and that's reflected in things like Star Wars The Republic MMO, you know, Force Unleashed. The Force is amped up for wow factor and like gameplay enjoyment. But that doesn't mean to say that the characters are actually that amped up outside of that medium. It's more just the medium that's amped up, not actually the characters. For example, Starkiller in the books, he's very much more grounded. That's because it's a different medium, it's a book for one, so it's going to be less amped up, and it's a different author, it's a different person working on it and writing it. Take for example Mace Windu in the original Clone Wars cartoon, where he's jumping in and he's swooping out like 10 million battle droids in one force push. And why didn't he do that in Attack of the Clones? Why didn't he just do that same thing if he's clearly capable of it? And it's because original Clone Wars and the movies are two entirely different mediums, so there's no accurate basis for comparison. As I say, feats like that are purely a manifestation of the medium and not so much of the character.
He also wanted it to be original, which is, I assume, why he accepted the idea of the Force being kind of amped up to 11 for all the Force users, that, you know, he thought that was perfect for a game. I don't think he thought that was perfect for, you know, the universe, but for the game, for the purposes of the game, that version of the universe, he was cool with that.
So the purpose of Force Unleashed is to be an amped up medium and display the Force 10 times stronger than it usually is. You know, Sam Witwer says it's amped up to 11. You can see on the Revenge of the Sith missions in Force Unleashed, which is essentially just a Force Unleashed medium version of Revenge of the Sith. You can see that it goes from Anakin kicking Dooku over a ledge in the normal medium, and then in the exaggerated medium that's displayed with Anakin shoving him over with a massive visual force push that has sparks flying everywhere, and then he slams him into a table. So it's very different. You know, they exaggerate it quite a lot just for gameplay enjoyment and wow factor, and so you'll enjoy the game, literally. They're taking a different spin on Star Wars in The Force Unleashed, and that's why Starkiller's got all these mad powers. That's why people think he's overpowered, is because he exists in this exaggerated medium. So all these feats aren't actually an accurate way to decipher someone's power level. The best thing for that is looking at statements that are not subject to medium considerations and medium differences. So for a good, accurate, non-medium bias depiction of Starkiller's power level, we can look to Star Wars Insider, where they actually say that Starkiller loses to The Empire Strikes Back Luke, on top of the developers of the game saying that Starkiller actually doesn't surpass Vader, and that he should rival him near the end, but he shouldn't be as powerful as Vader. And that's Vader in The Force Unleashed, who is dramatically weaker than Vader in A New Hope, and dramatically weaker than Vader in The Empire Strikes Back. So no matter what flashy displays Starkiller put on in his exaggerated medium, at the end of the day he's still weaker than Vader in A New Hope. So when people say, oh, Starkiller's OP, like, no way we can bring back Starkiller, he's too OP. No, the medium was just an amped up medium, that's all. And we've seen it plenty of times. I mean, look at Mace Windu in original Clone Wars, and you don't see people say, oh, we can't have Mace Windu in this, he's too OP. No, he's not. It was just the medium. So that's why Starkiller is not OP. And I will go more into mediums at some point. That's just sort of a basic overview of that, and also plays a part in why I think feats are a terrible way for determining the power level in Star Wars. But that's just the framework of that. I'm going to make a full video dedicated to that. But yeah, that's why Starkiller isn't actually overpowered. But yeah, just a little quick one. Just thought I'd clear that one up because I've seen people say that online for years. And it's just one of them where you read it and you just think, no, just shut up. But yeah, hopefully you can clear up that misconception now anyway. If you like the video, give it a share so people know. We can put an end to all this tomfoolery. But yeah, in a bit.